I'm cutting straight to visuals live coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where India has lost 4 soldiers. Those are images coming in of 4 of our Jawans. In fact, 1 officer and 3 soldiers who died in that terror encounter, an ambush in Doda region of Jammu and Kashmir. It's been barely a few hours. These are respects being paid by the Indian Army officers. We're seeing the wreath-laying of our soldiers who died in Doda. They were martyred in last 24 hours. Has been quite brutal for the Indian Army as they received the mortal remains of 4 of the officers. Captain Jaish Thapa killed in the Doda encounter. Sepoy Bijendra killed in Doda encounter. Sepoy Ajay also killed in the same Doda encounter, and Nayak Rajesh. 4 of their mortal remains, wreath-laying that's currently underway. These are live images coming in from Doda, Jammu. Shiv Arur joins us on the phone line for more on that. Shiv, a very sad day for the Indian Army. 4 of our brave soldiers, 1 officer in fact, who died in this Doda encounter. Wreath-laying that's currently underway, the ultimate sacrifice that they've given for our country.
That's right, Nabila. A very somber occasion, and sadly, the Army has had to do more than a few of these in the last few weeks, especially in the Jammu area alone. These pictures are coming in from the Army base in Doda, which is part of the Jammu division, south of the Pir Panjal, away from the Kashmir Valley, where these 4 Army men who belong to the 10 Rashtriya Rifles, who was, on a terror chase last evening, sadly were killed in action when they came under very, very heavy fire in what appears to have been some kind of an ambush or a trap. Obviously, those details are still being investigated at this point of time. But these 4 men who are being bid farewell by their unit in Doda, the 10 Rashtriya Rifles, I can tell you that there will be very, very urgent action at the unit level, at the tactical level, by their unit to find out where those terrorists are and to and to make sure that those terrorists pay for what they've done. That always happens at the local level, but there will be bigger questions over how there appears to be a larger design by Pakistan to bleed Jammu, Nabila, and that's going to be the main question in focus. What we're looking at right now in these pictures is the wreath-laying. These are, of course, very very sad, very serious ceremonials that the Army takes very seriously. The bodies of the 4 men, Captain Brijesh, Nayak Rajesh, Sepoy Bijendra, and Sepoy Ajay, all of the 10 Rashtriya Rifles, in those caskets. The salutes are being done by the officers and soldiers of that particular brigade, that particular division. Senior officers as well as soldiers are laying the wreaths on those 4 soldiers. You see the Army chief also express his condolences. After this particular wreath-laying ceremony, the 4 bodies, the mortal remains, will be flown to their hometowns. Captain Brijesh, the youngest of these men, 27 years old, joined the Army just 5 years ago, belonged to Siliguri in North Bengal. His parents, have been speaking to the media since early this morning. It has been a truly shattering, unspeakably sad day for 4 families who become only the latest in what has clearly become a spate of designed terror to bleed Jammu. Ever since the abrogation of Article 370, as we've been reporting, Nabila, the levels of violence and terrorism in the Kashmir Valley and South Kashmir and North Kashmir especially have gone down quite visibly. But the new dynamics in Jammu show that the pressure on Pakistan to keep violence levels high is very, very compelling, especially with China putting pressure on Pakistan as well. It looks like Jammu is target number one. The terror groups have been squeezed. Their resources have been highly restricted because of consistent security efforts in Kashmir and the Kashmir Valley. But Jammu has been a less guarded part of J&K. It's demographically different. It is, in terms of terrain and geography, very, very different. It has both the international border as well as the line of control. Infiltrations in these sectors, while high historically, had actually gone down quite a bit. And therefore, there is also many tough questions that will need to be asked of the government. Has guards been lowered? Why haven't there been new rules of engagement as far as Jammu is concerned? Has the Indian Army or the Indian government been caught off guard with this sudden surge in terror in Jammu? These are all very difficult questions, and I acknowledge that they're easy to ask for those of us who aren't, on the front. But poor families will be owed some serious answers, and I think that's the reason why we continue to ask these questions as we pay tribute and as we bid them farewell today, Nabila.
Shiv, as we see these visuals, it's heartbreaking enough, but of course questions being raised on why in the last 32 months we've lost 48 of our soldiers. Hasn't there lessons been learned? Why was there additional deployment? Those are areas that are tricky, but not pumping up the military forces along that region. Why haven't they anticipated this kind of strike? Because their only aim is to kill. The terrorists are targeting our Jawans, and if that's established, then why wasn't there additional forces deployed?
With a disclaimer that questions must be asked and answers must be sought from the forces and the government, and that's what we will continue to do, and I'll be doing that on my show at 5 o'clock today as well. To all those watching, I do want to say that it's easy to talk in terms of deployments, etc., but the challenges that the army and especially the Rashtriya Rifles work with, in disturbed areas and conflict areas, is unimaginable to most of us, Nabila, because they are functioning on territory that that has hundreds of Indian civilians, non-combatants. They don't have the same kind of luxuries and freedoms that the terror groups enjoy. The terror groups get to be indiscriminate in who they kill. They get to operate wherever they want to. The army does not have the luxury of doing that. The army faces many more challenges in terms of intelligence gathering. The army faces challenges in terms of what it can and cannot do. So the huge number of pulls and pressures, the number of challenges in terms of priorities, the very real fact, and your question is especially important because of the fact that there have been deployments taken away possibly from Jammu and put on the line of actual control with China because that was a warlike situation, which brings forward its own dilemma for the army and for the government. Which is a more urgent challenge? A huge China or these periodic attacks that are taking place in Jammu. Obviously, India at some point will have to choose between, how best and the most optimized way to deal with both situations as far as deployments are concerned. But I can tell you that the army is a highly professional service, and they will know what to do. It's only a question of when.
Thanks very much, Shiv, for joining us. That we're receiving from Doda, Jammu, the replaying ceremony of 4 of our soldiers who've died in the Doda encounter. Families grieving have spoken to India today. Let's have a listen.
पहले उसको हमने बोला था कि अम्बाला में तुम्हारा अच्छा था, अम्बाला में तो उसको पीस स्टेशन था, अम्बाला में वो एडी का है वो, तो उसको यहाँ पे 10 RR में उसको डिप्यूटेशन के लिए भेजा था उसको ना 2 साल के लिए। तो उसको मैंने एक दो बार उसको पूछा भी था, तो मला ठीक था, पर तुम इधर से आ गए। नहीं मम्मी यहाँ पे बहुत यहाँ अच्छा है, बोले यहाँ पे अच्छा है करके बोलते थे। यहाँ पे मतलब उनको लगता है ना कि अभी तो 26-27 के था, वो 26 प्लस का था, तो कुछ मतलब देश के लिए करेंगे, वो जो जुनून होता है वो ना। हाँ बचपन से था, क्योंकि वो उसमें मतलब बॉर्न एंड ब्रॉट अप ही आर्मी है। वो 15 जनवरी में बॉर्न हुआ था, वो आर्मी डे में बॉर्न हुआ था, वो उसका बर्थडे भी आर्मी डे में ही था। गर्व तो अभी हो गया ही, क्योंकि नेचुरली उसने अपने देश के लिए अपने जान दे रखा है ना, तो हो गए। बट हमारा तो काफ़ी बड़ा लॉस भी हो गया तो वो हमको अभी टाइम लगेगा थोड़ा सा अंडरस्टैंड करना। अभी भी हमको ऐसे ही लग रहा है कि पता नहीं अभी क्या हो रहा है वो
देश के लिए।
हाँ जी,
क्या बोले?
अभी ऐसा है कि अभी क्योंकि उसका इंटरेस्ट छोटे से फौज में और देश के लिए लड़ना था, तो उन्होंने अपना कभी वो ऐसे डरे नहीं, कभी वो झुके नहीं, और हमेशा जो है वो जो भी काम था वो अपना ठीक ठाक करता था, और जो भी बोला वो सही करता था। और ये कि जैसे छोटे से ही उनको हमने बताया भी था, अगर आर्मी में नहीं जाना किसी और, क्योंकि उसने इंजीनियरिंग कर रखा है, बीटेक किया हुआ है, तो उन्होंने बोला था, लेकिन वो बोला नहीं मैंने आर्मी में ही जाना है। तो हमेशा मेरा भी कोई आर्मी का जैसे जैकेट वगैरह है वो भी लगा के वो घूमते थे। हाँ, वो एक शौक था, इसलिए।
जैसे आए दिन सुनने को मिलता है कि मिलिटेंट्स के हाथों हमारे देश के जवानों को शहीद होना पड़ रहा है, क्या बोलेंगे इस चीज़ को? जैसे मिलिटेंट्स से अचानक से हमला कर रहे हैं।
नहीं, ये तो घुसपैठ तो होता ही है, लेकिन क्या है ये इसको क्योंकि कभी ज़्यादा मिलिटेंट्स आ जाता है, और उसको ये ज़रूरी मतलब हर मिलिटेंट को जंगल में हम दिख नहीं पाते हैं, क्योंकि जंगल बहुत वास्ट होता है और मिलिटेंट्स कहीं पर भी जा सकता है। तो इसीलिए क्या है ये चाहे कितने भी मिलिटेंट्स आ जाए, बहुत मुश्किल होता है आइडेंटिफाई। जब मैं भी फौजी हूँ, मैंने भी ऐसे मिलिटेंसी में काम किया है, वो बहुत मुश्किल होता है काम की, हर एक मिलिटेंट्स को ढूंढ पाना या आइडेंटिफाई करना मुश्किल होता है। तो इसीलिए क्या ये तो कभी किस्मत का बात है कि किसी को सामने मिल जाता है, किसी को कुछ हो जाता है, तो किस्मत का बात है।